Yeah, Matt Murphy Show, Super Talk 99.7 WT, and I'm going to get into one particular. I don't know if this aired last night. Did you see the Epstein commercial last night, Jackson? I did not see it.
Didn't catch it.
I was not watching with any particular attention. As a matter of fact, I didn't see. I mean, I saw pieces of the game, but I didn't see a lot of any of the commercials, and I didn't see any of the halftime show. That said, hey, it's the Matt Murphy Show, Super Talk 99.7 WT, and we've just passed halftime. Technically, Jay Harper's newscast at the top of the hour was our halftime show because we got 2 hours, and then we got Jay Harper's news, and then we got 2 more hours. We got Nincompoops coming up. Does Jay have a Nincopoop yet? Yeah? No?
I don't know if I'll be able to participate in that, Matt.
All right.
I just,
That's fine.
I got called in here last minute today.
That's true. That's true. That's fine because that ups the opportunity for me to win. I'm fine with that. I'm cool with
mano
that.
y mano.
A little, that's right.
I could be the judge if you like.
I'd like that too because I'd certainly pay Jay off. And I think
I'm going to take you down, old man.
I think I have a better ability. No, we'll play a little Nincompoops coming up. Well, you're certainly welcome to commentate as the Nincompoop stories are unveiled at 5:38 or thereabouts on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I think I've been inspired by Scott, though. Scott has written in, and he said earlier, let me see, it was 10 minutes after 3 o'clock. He wrote in, and I didn't see this right then because I got so many coming in on the Super Text line hot and heavy. But I noticed it a little bit later afterwards. He said, I've gone the whole day without knowing who won the Super Bowl. So please don't wreck my streak. I don't know who won, and I don't care who won. You can't say anything for the next 3 hours about who won. And he had a smiley face.
I'm going to do it.
No. He's already – no, just wait for it. So he said, the last Super Bowl I watched was when the New England Patriots played the Atlanta Falcons and came back to win, which I almost immediately told him the score of the game, this year's game, because I don't know if Scott knows this or not, but I was an Atlanta Falcons fan. Still kind of am, but I was a Falcons fan, and that is possibly the worst sports moment of my life.
I've got a couple.
There was the Georgia – well – I got a couple.
4th and 28.
Yeah, the Georgia national championship game against Alabama in 2017 was pretty bad too. And then the
Hail Mary against Tennessee 2016.
Let me tell you, I mean, you and I have never had an NFL Super Bowl winning team, right?
No, never seen it.
Me either. Well, kudos to those that have. Anyway, but I didn't do it. And he went on to say, dang it. Well, he texted a lot of different things about different subjects. But then he said, well, I made it until about 2 minutes ago. This was at 4:53. Made it till about 2 minutes ago before something popped up on my feed as to who won the Super Bowl. LOL. I said, I didn't tell. He goes, I know. I was ready to hit the mute button on my truck radio in case I suspected you were about to say who won. Now, this is inspiring to me.
I was going to do it.
Were you? You're going to tell him?
Yep, Seahawks won.
Oh, you should have said Patriots. You
just lied.
You should have just lied. Said the Patriots won.
Titans won. Parade next Tuesday. Be there.
Are you familiar with Whamageddon? Every Christmas.
No.
So Wham came out with a song called Last Christmas. Are you familiar with that song?
Yes.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart.
I don't need the rendition.
Mm-hmm. There is a game that is played. People play this game online all the time. It's called Whamageddon, where you try to see how long you can go during Christmas without hearing Last Christmas by Wham. Because it is
inundated.
It is empirically, it is one of the worst Christmas songs ever written. It is just awful.
It is not. There's so many other worse ones.
I mean, it's pretty bad.
You ever heard the Hey Santa one?
Well, I don't know which one you're talking about.
I'm going to pull it up.
No, I think the worst Christmas song is Do They Know It's Christmas Time at All? In the world, let them know it's... Anyway, here's my point, Jackson, before we get too far away from it. We should play a version of Whamageddon where... See, you couldn't do this because you can't help but know. You can't help but watch the game. I could not watch the game as long as my team's not affiliated. We should try to see how long we can go after the Super Bowl before we find out who won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I'll find someone to do it with me.
Maybe Ken Weaver will do it with you. Maybe Jay
Well,
Harper will do it with you.
I don't know. I don't know that I can convince Ken or Jay to do that. They like sports too much. I would have to find a relatively, a non-sports person or a non-football person. But I think it would be very difficult to go more than 24 hours. I think it would be difficult to go, in my line of work, it would be difficult to go more than
You ever watch
2
How I
hours.
Met Your Mother?
I know the concept.
But
I watched an episode.
So
or
there
two.
was an episode where they tried this.
Oh, did they?
So they had a party planned, but then, they go to the bar every
show or whatever.
every show. The main meetup spot is the bar, like the coffee shop and Friends. So they go to the bar, and apparently one of the bartenders, you'd seen him like one time, apparently not in real life, he died. So they had to go to his funeral, which was during the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And so they spent, the whole episode is about them spending the entire Monday after the Super Bowl trying not to spoil who won or the game and the score.
Because they wanted to watch it.
Because they were going to all watch the recording together that night. It's a good episode. It's
Okay.
funny.
And were they able to do it?
No, they all got
Of
it
course
spoiled to them at the very end of the episode. It was great though.
I'll make it a go. Y'all remind me that we're doing this next year, and I'll make a go of it. In the meantime, apparently this was, and I don't know that I can play the video no video for you, but I can play the audio, right? Okay. So apparently this was an ad on the Super Bowl. And I've not vetted this completely, but I assume because it was on the Super Bowl that it's going to be okay for air. We've talked a lot about the Epstein files. I have repeatedly asked a question, and I don't mean it to sound mean-spirited or unfeeling or uncaring for the victims of Jeffrey Epstein. But I cannot figure out why the victims who claim that they know who these people are don't tell us who these people are. We got the final 3 million document dump. It does not reveal anything. As predicted by me, I told you that there would be no major earth-shattering, smoking gun-type revelations in these files, just more of the general same ickiness and nastiness and grossness that surrounded Jeffrey Epstein and people in his immediate orbit. Jeffrey Epstein also had an exterior orbit of incredibly influential people, some of whom were not compromised by underage people, but were compromised simply by, engaging in inappropriate relationships, against their marriages, et cetera, et cetera. And these individuals were compromised in their own ways, but they were compromised not necessarily doing anything illegal, more so doing some immoral things. Obviously, there was illegal activity going on as well. All of that to say, this ad is very pointed in its messaging regarding Epstein survivors. Let's just listen to the ad. It says on November 19th, 2025, the Epstein Files Transparency Act was signed into law. And you see the women's faces. 3 million files have not been released. And then you see their mouths are covered.
After years of being kept apart, we're standing together.
Standing together.
Because this girl deserves the truth.
Because she deserves the truth.
They're holding pictures of
we all
themselves.
deserve
their
the
younger
truth.
their younger selves. And says, stand with us. Tell Attorney General Pam Bondi it's time for the truth. Stand with us, worldwithoutexploitation.org. Okay, so the ad, it's a number of the victims of Jeffrey Epstein and his orbit, and they're holding photos of their younger selves, and I just kind of repeated to you what was going on there. They're like, these people deserve the truth. This girl deserves the truth. We deserve the truth. And they're pointing a finger at Attorney General Pam Bondi. I don't have any love for Attorney General Pam Bondi. I think she is, in my estimation, she is a weak link in the Trump administration. And I'm all about transparency. I'm all about getting to the truth. I don't think anyone will be satisfied with anything that comes out regarding Jeffrey Epstein at this point. However, as I have been saying, and you regulars know this, as I've been saying for months, these women and they're victims, and I am sensitive to that. They released an ad to send the message that they're going to stand and they're going to be there, and they want the truth. This is as sincere as I can ask this question. Why aren't they naming names? If they are victims and they know the names of people that had pedophilic sexual relationships with underage girls, why are they not naming those names? I ask this question as sincerely as I can ask it. I asked the question months ago. Remember when they held what's her name from over in Georgia, just quit on everybody, Marjorie Taylor Greene. She held a press conference, and she had a number of victims, and I think Thomas Massey was a part of it as well. And the victims came forward and said, we want the truth, and we want the information out there, and I'm a victim of all of this. Well, then why aren't you telling us who abused you? Why aren't you naming names? Supposedly, these are some of the most powerful people imaginable around the world. And they took out this organization, worldwithoutexploitation.org, took out a reportedly $10 million Super Bowl ad. And in it, they were claiming that they have been silenced by the Trump administration. Now, I could politicize this and talk about how none of these folks talked about any of this during the Biden administration. That's one thing. Like, we didn't hear about any of this during the Biden administration. And it begs the question, why was that? Because this is so political in its nature. But why aren't you speaking out? Now, before you say something about, they'll get sued, do you understand the amount of money that could be raised instantaneously for these women to protect them in a lawsuit? Instantaneously. And the truth is your best defense. Well, and somebody said Epstein victims signed NDAs. With who? Jeffrey Epstein? He's dead, y'all. He's dead. No. And 4238, here's how this works. All of this lawsuit stuff, calm down for a second. Just listen to me. If they name names and they're telling the truth, the person that sues them for libel, one, I promise you, instantaneously there will be millions of dollars raised for their defense. So money for their defense will not be a problem. Number two, the people suing them, their attorneys get discovery. So whoever sues them for libel, they're going to have all of their emails opened up. They're going to have their lives opened up because in the defense of these women, they'll be able to get discovery on the other side of things. So I don't think there'll be a single lawsuit as long as they're telling the truth. If Jackson knows something about me and Jackson tells the truth and I sue Jackson and Jackson has enough money that he's going to defend himself in a lawsuit, Jackson's lawyers get to come at me and say, Murphy, we want your emails and we want any paper trail that you got and we want your cell phone. We're going to copy that. And we want your laptop computer. We're going to copy that. All of those things would happen during a libel lawsuit. And a non-disclosure agreement made with somebody that's dead is an unenforceable non-disclosure agreement. I just sincerely don't get it. I don't. If you are so determined to get this out there, if you're so determined to break the quote-unquote silence that you would spend $10 million on a Super Bowl ad, then why don't you just step up to a podium and say something? And I am sensitive to the fact that these are victimized people, but they are strong enough to put their faces on a Super Bowl ad. Why in the world wouldn't they be strong? I mean, I'm all for the transparency. I just genuinely don't understand why they aren't doing this. And I'm telling you, folks, it's not about fear of a lawsuit. They would be totally covered in the event of a lawsuit. I mean, maybe it's about something. Maybe it's fear of death. I mean, But if that's the case, wouldn't they be fearful of doing this Super Bowl ad too? Something feels wrong about this because they claim that they have been silenced and that they demand information, but they will not give us the information that they claim to want that they have. Does that make sense with anybody? I mean, Mario, is that correct? If that's correct, I haven't seen it. Apparently, Mario says Elon said on the X machine that he would cover all the legal expenses that they would incur. So let's go. Let's step forward. I don't get it. 21 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Coming up, I have a thought or two, a rant, if you will. I'll put my rant pants on regarding the SAVE Act. And no, it has nothing to do with the Democrats. I know what the Democrats are going to do with the SAVE Act. The Democrats are sharks. I understand how sharks act. They act like sharks. What I don't understand is why Senator John Thune is waiting on moving some of the rules around to make it more difficult for the Democrats to filibuster the SAVE Act, something that 71% of Democrats want, 95% of Republicans want. It's a basic, fundamental building block of a free, open, representative republic that we can identify the voters that are voting in elections. And Democrats are against this. More coming up on that. Brent has a thought or two about Epstein. Hello, Brent.
Hey, how you doing? Just a real quick one. I'd say it's their lives that they're more concerned about than a lawsuit. Lawsuit's not going to do anything, but their lives, because they're very powerful people, and they have other means, maybe they do, maybe they don't, of eliminating individuals. That's where I think their problem is.
Well, I mean, I got it. I mean, I can understand that, but wouldn't they be putting themselves at danger doing a Super Bowl commercial?
I thought about that, too. I think they're letting them kind of it's a bad word, kind of cat around. If something comes out, then it comes out. But for them to actually point out and say, you did it, you were there, I think that's where they're having a problem.
I mean, no, certainly. I mean, obviously, if these are some of the most powerful people on planet Earth, then clearly they would be putting themselves potentially at risk. I would suggest that at this stage in the proceedings, if they had information that the people around the world, I almost said the American people, but the people around the world wanted, I also think that they could, relatively speaking, be protected. But, maybe I don't know. Something feels weird about it. None of these women spoke out during the 4 years of the Biden administration in the aftermath of Jeffrey Epstein's death. Nobody said anything about it. Now everyone's saying things about it, and they're demanding that the silence be broken. But the same people that are demanding the silence get broken have information that they're not giving. Like, I was a victim of Epstein and some of his clients. Well, who were those clients? I mean, is it untoward to ask these people who the clients were? If they're demanding that this come out in the open, then why aren't they being more open with it? Brent, you could be right. They could be legitimately fearful for their lives. But you're getting really close to outing these people with a Super Bowl ad, so aren't you endangering yourself if that's the case? Once again, they were underage victims, and I'm very sensitive to that, and I understand that, and people perhaps feel odd in talking about it at all. But if you're out there and you're pointing fingers and you're accusing in a political way, I mean, you pointed the finger at Pam Bondi. You didn't say, you said Pam Bondi. I never heard you say Merrick Garland. Just weird to me. Hey, Mike's on the line in Old Hickory. He can come on the radio show in 6 days. Deborah, you'll be next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, but right now it's time for the news. 5644 on the Super Text line. Water test, what a joke. Hey, it's you family. You play, you weigh, watch a cancer. I'm reading this as it was written to me, okay? I'm going to start over. Take two. Doo-doo. Water test, what a joke. hey, it's you family, you play, you weigh, watch a cancer death, and sidetrack the issue with you own home. Some people, big time stupid, need mirror. I read that as it was written to me. 5644, Better Water is a great company, and you are entitled to your own opinion, but not your own facts. I think you misheard me. They went in and they tested my water, and they did not upsell me on anything. As a matter of fact, they told me that my water was A-OK. If you happen to be one of the few in Middle Tennessee where your water's good, they'll tell you that, which is one of the reasons that I would recommend, well, I'll recommend Better Water LLC to anyone. And one of the reasons is not only can they eliminate some of the crap that's in a lot of our water, they also are honest with you, which is nice. We got that going for us, which is nice. I promised Deborah before Nincompoops, and we'll do it. Deborah, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Doing well, thank you.
I was listening to your show about NES. Okay, I'd just like to point out a couple of things. NES cut $7 million on their budget for cutting trees.
They did.
I heard that directly from Marsha Blackburn. Then they did not maintain the poles. Teresa, the CEO of NES, makes over $350,000. After they cut the budget, they gave themselves a raise. In Atlanta, they knew the storm was coming. They had 10,000 volunteers set up. Kentucky had 5,000. We had 160. She said in the news conference, I couldn't believe it. We were only preparing for snow. Then, I am not saying your particular show, but I normally listen to 99.7. They interviewed in the beginning some union linemen, and they did not, NES did not want to hire them because they did not want to pay union prices. And then in her last interview or press conference, a reporter asked, well, how come now you're bringing in some other people? So she goes, well, we had to make sure that they know how to handle these kind of situations in emergency. I'm sorry, the woman's an accountant. I work in Fortune 500 companies my entire life. This screw up, the CEO, if I was the CEO, I would have typed up my resume and said, goodbye. She needs to be fired. The whole board needs to be fired. And the whole thing has to be reconstruction because our electric bills are through the roof. And this is ridiculous. And we had, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, not with her, the former CEO, and they were out partying and conventions and trips and $1,000 bottles of wine. This all has to look, they have to look into it. And the mayor, Freddie the mayor, is just as responsible as she is because he didn't have a plan either. It was 3 days after this whole thing started that they announced they have shelters and have people to come pick you up. It's a very bad situation. Nobody was like Governor Ron DeSantis. I'm a very proactive person. This was a reactor situation. And I cannot believe that the unions, after she didn't want to hire union workers, are going to defend her.
Yeah, they're claiming that wasn't true, but I don't know what was true behind that. She screwed up so much and so much of the information. It's a great synopsis. It's a great recap that you just offered, Deborah. It goes deeper than that, though. They hired a public relations firm for a 3-year contract, reportedly for $10 million. And they initiated that public relations firm not to better communicate with the public, but to communicate with the politicians on Capitol Hill in the General Assembly to try to prevent a General Assembly takeover of a failure of a board at the NES and a failure of the CEO. I mean, so instead of recognizing that they had a communications issue with their customers, the ratepayers, they decided to initiate a public relations push with politicians. I mean, that's how little they think of the ratepayers. It's just gross.
I know, but not to interrupt you, I do PR and marketing. I would have done it for half that, less than that. But I would have told them, no, you have to communicate to the consumer. You have to communicate directly to the consumer. That's what you have to do. Because when you sell a product, who do you sell it to? The politicians? No, you sell it to the consumer. So the PR firm should have been, for $10 million, should have stood up and said, no, we can't do that. That's bad. That makes their company look really bad. Okay, fine, you're the client. We'll do it your way for $10 million. The consumers needed to know exactly what was going on, and that didn't happen.
Teresa Broyles-Applin was not that. She just was not concerned with her consumers until it became apparent that she was about to lose her cushy. And you're right on the mark. I've heard somewhere in the neighborhood of $325,000 to $350,000. Deborah, thank you for the call. Thank you for the synopsis. Teresa Broyles-Applin has to go. And I love the fact that Cameron Sexton earlier today on the show, Speaker of the House of the General Assembly, said, look, we'll turn it into a co-op if we need to. And that's a really good option for us. 615-737-9986. We'll get more of your calls in here. It's 45 after the hour. Before we do, it's high time for a few nincompoops in the news. Well, all right, time for nincompoops in the news. Jay Harper is in for Ken Weaver today. And Jay is focused on the real news. He will not be presenting an nincompoop, but he's certainly he is certainly able to comment, and we'd love to hear some of those comments regarding nincompoops as presented by the two of us, Jackson Williams and Matt Murphy. Jackson?
Yes.
I'm going first.
No, you're not.
Why not?
I was the winner.
I don't think you were.
I wrapped up, remember Nincompoops on Thursday?
I know, but we had a show. We had Friday's show.
But there was no Nincompoops on Friday.
Right, so it cleans the slate.
Does not clean the slate. We go to the most recent winner. That would be me. Well, do you remember my acceptance speech? Do I need to reiterate it?
If you take my nincompoop from me, then I'm not going to have a nincompoop because I don't have a backup.
Well, that's tough. Where'd you get yours from?
It is not from any of our usual sources. What state is your nincompoop in? Is it in a state or in a country?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. All right, we're good.
All right. Police summoned to handle domestic.
By the way, before it's so funny the way we worry about because y'all, this is harder than you think. Finding nincompoops.
Finding naked people. They're not just doing it on every street corner in America.
Mine's only got one part of their body naked. But anyway, go ahead.
Police summoned to handle domestic sticky bun dispute.
Oh, geez.
Domestic disputes that require police intervention are never a laughing matter, unless, of course, two siblings are threatening to kill each other over who ate the last sticky bun. Officers were told the confrontation is between siblings over who ate the last sticky bun. Now they're threatening to kill each other.
Dear, oh dear.
Sadly, public records requests have been denied by the Williamsport Bureau of Police, so no further information about the confrontation is currently available, such as the age and identity of the sticky bun enthusiast or whether or not arrests were made.
Who isn't a sticky bun enthusiast? Come on.
I don't think I've ever had one.
A sticky bun?
I've had a cinnamon roll. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay. Yeah, they're pretty good.
You know, all that crap on the top. So good. Oh, sorry. Did I?
Yeah, you did.
I made you lose your place. So now I'm trying to help you regain your place by talking while you find it.
And additionally, specific sticky bun details are lacking. However, if the gooey treats were not homemade, it appears likely they came from Mr. Sticky's, a Williamsport favorite that is a short drive from where the siblings clash.
I can imagine that Mr. Sticky's is
delicious. I bet it's like a family treat.
Good. Oh my God.
That they get like once or twice a year.
So good.
And somebody ate that last sticky bun, and it was on. It was throwdown time.
It was on.
What if the dog ate it?
Well, then the dog's probably sitting pretty over there if the dog ate it. All right, are you done? Is that yours?
I'm done.
All right, from Jackson's sticky buns story to Matt's stinky buns story. Police have caught a serial defecator terrorizing a Wisconsin city in the act with the use of drone technology. You see what they did there? Sticky buns to stinky buns? That's pretty good. Police in Wisconsin caught a serial defecator in the act as they were pooping in a city park. Much like the porch pooper, who was on the loose in Kentucky back in the summer of 2024. The city of Stoughton, S-T-O-U-G-H-T-O-N, I'm going to go Stoughton, Wisconsin, had been terrorized recently by a serial defecator. Residents reported finding human feces and used toilet paper in a city park, according to a local ABC affiliate, WISN Channel 12. The Stoughton Police Department decided to use modern technology to catch their suspect. With the use of trail cameras and a drone, they caught the person responsible pooping in the act. The 46-year-old is a resident of Stoughton and was spotted by drone in the early morning hours last Thursday. This story is from yesterday. In what might be the most shocking part of this entire fecal matter, the person caught taking a dump in the city park by a drone was a woman.
Whoa.
The use of TP might have been a clue. The SPD...
No, if you're taking a dump in public, you got to...
You got it. What?
Anybody. That's not gender specific.
Well, I mean, this is what the story says, but see, I know a lot of those the jogging poopers. That's a lot of them are joggers. The serial poopers that are caught in these various towns, they're joggers, and a lot of times they're women or men, but they're jogging and they got to poop, and they just pull over and poop. They take care of their business. A lot of times they don't even wipe.
When nature calls.
When nature calls. For those concerned that the suspect was or is homeless, she is not, according to police. It's the act of a woman who's choosing to connect with nature in the early morning hours by defecating in a park. I personally think there are better ways to connect with nature. But in all transparency and fairness to her, according to SPD, they haven't taken any, it could be onto something, yada, yada, yada. So, yes, the serial pooper in Stoughton, Wisconsin, has been caught thanks to drone technology. The woman was not named in the story, but she has been booked and released on her own recognizances. That's how we play.
Now, Matt, I saw that story earlier today, and I did consider perhaps introducing that to today's Nincompoop segment. However, I elected not to, and it's a good thing I didn't. I didn't want to steal your thunder, perhaps.
No, it would have been much better if Jay did it.
You think? Yeah. You know what? Today is also National Poop Day.
Is it?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. In addition to being National Pizza Day after the day after the Super Bowl.
Well, those are counterintuitive because, all the cheese.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense, though.
Yeah.
Or after the pizza comes the pooping.
Correct.
Well, the cheesel.
Yeah, the Pooper Bowl in your case.
Oh, the old Pooper Bowl. Yeah. I like it. I like it. All right, that's how we play Nincompoops in the News. I would encourage you to vote for Matt Murphy. Thank you. 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. Back in a moment. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. A lot of votes for Matt Murphy. Thank you. Thank you. 4791 says, I vote for Ken Weaver because not being there with a story is better than the sticky crap stories that you two came up with. That's not very nice.
I was telling you this.
That wasn't very nice.
It's tough to do Nincompoops without Ken.
I agree.
Because that laugh in the background.
Ken's the straw that stirs that Nincompoops drink. I'd agree with you. I mean, I tried to help your story out. You gave me nothing for my story. Thanks a lot.
Well, I don't want you to win.
You knew I was a winner.
And there was a phone call.
A lot of stinky buns votes. Stinky buns as opposed to sticky buns. Thank you so much. Let me get to Robert real quick. Hey, Robert, what's going on?
Hey, Mr. Murphy, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. You all right?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Hey, I had a little bit of thoughts on the water test issues because I went through the same process of having water tests at different locations, and they come in, they set up their little test tubes on your countertop and all, and they say, well, your water's good here. You don't have to use as much detergent as everybody else, and this is clear and this is good. Maybe you have a little high lime content or whatever. Well, okay. That's just natural water that runs through the rivers and streams under the ground and which your well is hooked into.
Mm-hmm.
But I also asked the water guy, I said, hey, what about chemicals and toxins from spray things and so forth? I mean,
Robert.
is that in my water? Toxins and spray chemicals and poisons?
Robert,
is that in my water?
I want the answer to this. But Jackson has played the music, which